Haven Baker, congratulations on your fourth place at the state tournament. How's it feel to get on that podium?
It felt pretty good considering last year I lost out in the blood rounds last year, unfortunately, so it felt good to come back this year and redeem myself.
You had kind of a tough year overall leading up to the state tournament, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It was a pretty rough year. I broke my hand at the very beginning of the season and was out for about 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay. And then take us through the state tournament. Talk about your matches there.
I had a lot of tough competition, some hard matches, some pretty good matches. I beat a lot of people that I wasn't expecting to because I was actually seeded 6th and I ended up getting 4th. So.
How old were you when you started wrestling?
I was in 6th grade, so probably like 12, I think.
Okay. And who are those you kind of look up to, kind of parents, coaches who helped you along the way?
My coaches a lot. My family's very supportive of me. My teammates are very supportive.
All right, again, congratulations for being on the podium at the state.
Thank you.
Mathilde Matsuda, congratulations on your 4th place finish at state. How did it feel?
It felt pretty good. I was very happy with how state went this year. I lost my quarterfinal match, so I had to battle back, wrestle a few matches, but I was overall really happy with how it turned out.
Talk about the season as a whole. What were some of the high points?
I think winning conference was good for our team. State was definitely, I think, the highest point. I didn't do my best at all the tournaments this year, but I think I was definitely able to peak at the right time and bring my best for state. So as a whole, the season wasn't – I missed a few tournaments as well for concussion and I was sick, but I think it really came to a good finish.
How old were you when you and your twin sister started wrestling?
Oh, when we first moved here, so 13, I think.
Talk about those who kind of you look up to over the years in wrestling.
For sure, when we first moved here, Taylor Graveman, she was a huge inspiration for us, and she helped us a lot. Our first year when she was still here, we still text her from time to time, ask her for advice. She's probably the biggest person I look up to for wrestling.
Again, congratulations on 4th place at state.
Thank you.
Candice Matsuda, congratulations on your 3rd place at state. Tell us how it went out there.
It was pretty good, obviously. Like for 3rd, that's not bad. That's how I placed last year. I was kind of hoping to do a little bit better than that, but overall, I'm happy with it. I felt like wrestled well and fought through every match. So,
is the state tournament a little more nerve-wracking than the regular season?
Yeah, definitely. It's like even though they're the same people you've kind of been wrestling all year, there's just more pressure on it, and so it's like a culmination of everything you've been doing. So it's definitely more pressure.
What were some of the high points of the season this year?
I feel like there were a lot of high points when we, as a team, with conference and then being able to win regions, like that was really cool. Yeah, I felt like the whole year was just really good. A lot of good wrestling. There was 2 tournaments that I missed. One because I was sick, and then the other because of just weather conditions. But overall, it was just really good and fun.
Okay. All right. Congratulations again on your great finish at state.
Thank you.
Makita Raysor, congratulations. You got on the podium at state, 8th place.
Thank you so much.
Take us through the tournament. Talk about your matches out there.
My matches this year were pretty tough. It really depended on the person. Some of them I wrestled before. I was going 152 this year for state, but I've kind of been bouncing back and forth between 152 and 145. I've been wrestling for 3 years now, and I kind of enjoy it. I started my 8th grade year. I did wrestling one day in 7th grade, except for I didn't really like it and it wasn't really my thing. And then the next year I did it with Morgan Little, and she's one of our teams, or she's one of our teammates now, and she's just really sweet, and she convinced me to do it my 8th grade year, and now we're in it together still.
What were some of your high points this season?
Some of my high points were that I wanted to make it to state. I wanted to qualify. I knew that regionals was going to be really tough and stuff, but I worked through it and I worked my butt off to get where everybody else was.
Being a sophomore, you're looking at wrestling again next year?
Absolutely. I think I'm going to do it, and maybe in college too.
And congratulations for making the podium at state.
Thank you so much.
Marlee Heltzel, congratulations on your 4th place finish at state.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Talk about the state tournament. Take us through your matches there.
I had 5 matches at the state tournament. My first match I won, and my second match I beat the 4th seed, which was really awesome. And my third match I wrestled the number 1 seed from Watertown, and I ended up losing to her in the 3rd period. But I feel like I wrestled well in that match. And my 4th match I wrestled well. I won by points. And my 5th match was my last match, and I got pinned by her, but she was the 2nd seed, so I felt like I wrestled well against her.
How long have you been wrestling?
This is my 4th season.
How did you get into it? Who are those people you kind of look up to that helped you along the way?
Well, I wanted to do it. I started when I was in 6th grade, and part of that was because my cousin, she wrestled, and I went and I watched her at state when I was in 5th grade, and I wanted to try it. Seeing her do it, I thought it was pretty cool.
All right, again, congratulations on your great finish at state.
Thank you.
Okay. Joel Martin, head coach, girls wrestling for Spearfish High School. I'll give you a little bit of a recap of the last couple of weeks. First of all, with our region tournament, the state decided this year to have a region qualifier for the girls to qualify for the state tournament, just like the boys do. It kind of had gotten big enough to do that. And just like the boys, the top 4 go. We had like 135 girls in our region this year, so it was a really, really tough region. And they also take an alternate to the state tournament, 1 per weight class. There's 12 weight classes. Well, all 12 alternates were from our region. So, I mean, that just shows you how tough our region was. And we ended up qualifying 5 girls for the state tournament. And then our team actually won the region tournament, which was kind of cool. You know, the first ever region tournament the girls have ever had. So it was kind of a little history thing, historical thing for our girls. So that was really cool. In the region, you can place top 6, even though they only take the top 4. But we had 10 girls in the region and 9 of them placed. So that's a big reason why we won that title. It's always kind of cool to get a region title. So that was kind of a feather in our cap. At the state tournament, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't have been happier. It was a great turnout for us. Granted, we only had those 5 girls, but all 5 girls placed. And not only did they place, but they all exceeded what their seed was going into the state tournament, except 1. So, I mean, we ended up in 6th place, and at the state level, they only placed 6 teams. So we were able to be on the podium. We brought home some hardware. We got a 6th place plaque. So that was really kind of a great thing for our girls, a great ending for our girls. I'll go over individually here how they did. Our 100-pounder, Haven Baker, she's a sophomore. She was seeded 6th. She ended up in the semifinals, pinned the number 3 girl in the state in the quarterfinal match. And she ended up having a tough setback in the semifinals, but ended up coming back through the backside, won her consi semi match, and then ended up losing her 3rd and 4th place match, but still ended up in 4th, even though she was a 6th seed. At 126 pounds, we had Candice Matsuda. She was a 2 seed, ended up losing in the semis by 2 points, but again, came back in her consi semi match, won that match, ended up going for 3rd and 4th, and ended up winning her 3rd place match. So she did end up at the 2 seed, and she ended up in 3rd place. And then her sister, Mathilde Matsuda, she was a 7 seed at 132 pounds, and she ended up getting 4th place overall. She lost in the quarterfinals, Matilda did, but then came back and won her next 2 wrestleback matches, which enabled her to go for 3rd and 4th. And in 3rd and 4th, she unfortunately took a loss there. And then at 152 pounds, we had Makita Raysor. She is a sophomore for us. And last year, she had a tough go. She made state about 5 or 6 days before state, severely sprained her ankle. We thought it was broke, but it ended up being really sprained. She fought through it. We taped her up, and she ended up competing last year. Didn't place last year, but this year I know it was a goal of hers to get a placing, and she did. She ended up with the 10 seed, won her first match, then took a couple of setbacks, did end up winning her blood round match, which determines if you place or not. And then lost her next one, and then ended up in 7th and 8th and took a loss there, but still ended up in 8th place. She was a 10 seed and got 8th place, so she exceeded her seed as well. And then our final wrestler, Marlee Heltzel, at 185 pounds. She's only a freshman. She was seeded 5th, and she ended up in 4th place. Another one, she took a tough loss in the quarterfinals, in the semifinals, and came back, won her Conci semi match, but then took a tough loss in 3rd and 4th. But again, she's only a freshman, and she's placed as a 7th and 8th grader, so she's a 3-year place winner already, is only a freshman. So we're still looking for a lot of exciting things out of Marlee. And then, like I said, overall, that helped us. Only having 5 wrestlers in place in all 5, and they all exceed their seeds, I mean, that was a great thing for us. Just a testament to all these girls' hard work that they've done through the season. I kind of told them that, all those early morning lifts, all those early morning practices in the middle of winter, I mean, it was all worth it to be standing on the podium at the end of the season. And, it was just a great feeling as a coach, too, to see them succeed in that. And, just a great team effort, too. A lot of our girls that didn't qualify that we felt should have, if our region probably wasn't as tough as it is, they came in the room last week, and helped these girls out, if we needed them to step in and be live and be kind of a fresh partner for some of these girls getting ready for state. So really, even though some of those girls didn't get to go to state and wrestle in state, they were still a big part of the reason why we ended up in 6th place. And again, as a coach, I couldn't be happier. I have to give a shout out to Cody Powers, my assistant coach. I mean, I'll put him right up there with one of the best assistant coaches in the state of South Dakota, and we couldn't do this without him as well. And he's just an awesome asset to our team, and a big reason why we're at the point we're at. And the nice thing is we only had one senior this year. Unfortunately, she didn't qualify. She had a tough region. I ended up in 5th place, and we're going to miss her. Madeline Schloop is her name, and she's been a wrestler with us since 6th grade. So I mean, she's going to be a tough one to replace, but she's done a lot of great things in that leadership role, and again, we're going to miss her. But yeah, we have everybody coming back besides her, and hopefully some more middle school girls to come up. And we're thinking about going to some camps this summer, and some of these girls are already at the end of March and April already wrestling on some national tournaments, some dual teams for South Dakota, and we're already onto that postseason stuff, and we're making plans for that, what we want to do, and we're just going to hopefully come back bigger, better, and stronger for next year.